All right, so we're diving deep into the world of Michael Jordan today.
Okay.
And we're going right to the source for this one.
Sounds good.
His autobiography, For the Love of the Game.
Oh, very cool.
So we're not just talking about the game-winning shots or, the championships. We're really getting into, like, his mindset.
Yeah.
How he approached the game.
Yeah.
Everything.
I love that.
All from his perspective.
Yeah, autobiographies are incredible for that.
Right.
You really get that unfiltered perspective.
Yeah.
It's not someone else telling their story.
Exactly.
It's them laying it all out there.
Yeah.
So you really get to see, like, their motivations,
Yeah.
their thought processes,
Absolutely.
all in their own words.
And speaking of motivations, let's talk about that love of the game clause.
Oh, yeah.
That was in his Bulls contract.
Yeah.
So we all know that, he was dedicated, but to have it written in
Right.
that he'll play basketball
Oh, yeah.
whenever, wherever, even during the off season, like that's next level.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I think it shows a real understanding
Yeah.
on the Bulls' part.
Yeah.
That for Jordan,
Yeah.
basketball wasn't just a job. It was
Right.
like an intrinsic part of who he was.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
So to limit that
Yeah.
could have really backfired for them.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
It's almost like saying, like, we trust you, Michael, to know your limits, to keep that fire burning
Right.
without burning out.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And, speaking of trust,
Yeah.
Jordan talks a lot about the impact that his father had on him.
Okay.
How his dad really saw his potential,
Oh, wow.
even before he did.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
That parental belief, that unwavering support.
Yes.
It's like fertile ground for talent
Yes.
to really like grow and blossom.
Absolutely.
And you think about it, how many potential superstars are out there
Oh, yeah.
that never really blossom
Right.
because they don't have that backing.
It makes you wonder how different things could have been.
Yeah.
Even for someone like Jordan.
Right.
What if that coin flip during the NBA draft
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
had gone the other way
Completely different.
and sent him to Portland or Houston
Wow. Yeah.
instead of Chicago?
Right.
I mean, would we even be having this conversation?
I mean, it's impossible to say,
Yeah.
but it's just fascinating to think about
Seriously.
that ripple effect of chance.
Yeah.
Those seemingly small events
Yeah.
can have such a monumental impact on someone's career.
Huge. Yeah.
Different city, different team, different mentors.
Right.
Who knows what would happen?
Exactly.
Would he have reached the same heights?
Right.
It's a question that makes you think.
It really does.
Yeah.
And speaking of influences early in his career, Jordan idolized Julius Irving.
Of course, Dr. J.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in the book, he talks about how watching Dr. J, electrify crowds
Right.
with his moves actually kind of messed with his performance
Really?
on the court.
Wow.
Like initially.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Dr. J was a pioneer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he redefined what was possible on a basketball court.
Yeah.
So it's only natural
Right.
that a young Jordan
Yeah.
would be both inspired and intimidated.
Yeah, totally.
It's like stepping onto a stage
Right.
where your hero just performed.
Yes.
How do you even begin to measure up?
It's a good point. Yeah. But Jordan wasn't just focused on the game itself.
Okay.
He also talks about how he developed like a really keen understanding
Okay.
of the business side of basketball,
Yeah.
especially through his dealings with shoe companies.
Oh, yeah.
Even back then,
Wow.
he was building a brand.
And what a brand it became.
I know, right?
The Air Jordan phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just about the shoes.
Yeah.
It was about Jordan's savvy
Yes.
and Nike's marketing genius.
Right.
Remember when the NBA tried to ban those shoes?
Oh, yeah, the red and black ones?
Oh. Those iconic red and black shoes.
Yeah.
It just made them more popular.
I know, it's crazy.
Talk about a marketing win.
Totally. Like, they accidentally created the forbidden fruit of sneakers.
Right.
Like, everybody had to have them.
Exactly. Yeah.
But even with all this...
That's intense.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It wasn't just physical defense either.
Right.
They were really trying to get inside his head,
Yeah.
break him mentally.
Oh, wow.
The book gives a really interesting look at how Jordan perceived this tactic,
Right.
how he felt targeted
Mm-hmm.
and at times frustrated
Yeah.
by their relentless pressure.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
But it seems like he thrived under that pressure
he did.
and eventually turned it into fuel
Yeah.
for his own fire.
It's like the more they tried to contain him,
Right.
the brighter he burned.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that fire was certainly tested
Huh.
when Phil Jackson introduced the triangle offense.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That's a big one.
So imagine Jordan,
Yeah.
used to being the primary scoring option,
Right.
is suddenly being asked to trust a system that distributed the ball more evenly.
Right? Like, share the love it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't an easy adjustment.
I bet.
Yeah. In the book, he describes those early days with the triangle,
Oh,
the arguments with Phil,
yeah.
that feeling that his individual talent was being stifled.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
But as we all know, he eventually came to embrace it.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He even saw it as a key
Oh, wow.
to unlocking the Bulls' full potential.
That's a great point.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
It's a lesson in humility.
Yes.
You know, even the greatest players
Right.
need to adapt and learn to trust their coaches and their teammates.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But, that trust can be fragile,
Mm-hmm.
as we see with like all the internal conflicts
Yeah.
that plagued the Bulls' final championship season,
Right.
especially the strained relationship between Phil Jackson
Okay.
and general manager Jerry Krause.
Yeah. So you've got Krause, who's focused on building for the future.
Right.
And then you've got Jackson, who's determined to win in the present.
Mm-hmm.
And it creates this tension, this underlying feeling that the dynasty is coming to an end,
Right.
no matter how successful they are on the court.
And in the midst of all of this,
Right.
Jordan's grappling with his own internal struggles.
Wow.
The weight of expectations,
Yeah.
the pressure to keep winning,
Mm-hmm.
and the emotional toll of his father's death.
That's a lot to carry.
It's a lot to carry, yeah.
Even for Michael Jordan, it
Yeah.
really humanizes him in a way
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't often see. He's
Yeah.
not just a basketball god.
Right.
He's a man dealing with grief,
Yes.
doubt, and the realization that even legendary careers have to end.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a really good point.
Yeah, it's interesting, because even with all that weight on his shoulders,
Right.
Jordan still makes this shocking decision
Fair enough.
to walk away from basketball at what seemed like the peak of his powers.
Totally, yeah.
It's like he needed to prove something to himself
Right.
to chase a different dream.
And his foray into baseball, as he describes it in the book,
Yeah.
it wasn't some publicity stunt
Right.
or a way to stay in shape.
Right.
It was about fulfilling this lifelong passion,
Wow.
something that he had put on hold
Yeah.
to dominate the NBA.
That's amazing.
He even talks about how playing baseball
Yeah.
was his father's dream for him.
Wow.
And he didn't just dabble. He
Right.
dove in head first,
He did.
joining the White Sox minor league system,
Wow.
training intensely,
Yeah.
arriving at the ballpark at dawn
Oh my God.
to work with hitting coaches,
Wow.
being late for extra practice.
That's incredible.
It's like that same relentless work ethic
Yeah.
that we saw in his basketball career
Mm-hmm.
was evident
Yeah.
in his approach to baseball.
It's so cool.
The book really captures his frustration
Okay.
with not being instantly great,
Right.
the humbling experience
Yeah.
of being a rookie again.
Totally.
It's like he was learning that even Michael Jordan
Mm-hmm.
couldn't just show up and dominate any sport he tried.
Yeah. It's a good lesson.
It is.
It's a testament to his character. I think
I agree.
he could have easily stayed in basketball,
Right.
enjoyed a few more years
Oh,
of
yeah.
guaranteed success,
For sure.
but he chose to challenge himself
Yeah.
in a completely different arena,
Totally.
knowing that he might fail.
And while he didn't achieve that same level of success in baseball, he talks about how that experience
Mm-hmm.
ultimately rekindled his love for basketball.
Interesting.
It's almost like he needed that time away
Yeah.
to appreciate what he had,
Right.
to miss the competition,
Mm-hmm.
the camaraderie,
Yeah.
the thrill of the game.
And that time away also gave him a chance to heal,
Yes,
to process the grief of losing his father.
for sure.
He writes about how being on the baseball field,
Yeah,
in a way, brought him closer to his dad,
right.
fulfilling a shared dream.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
And when he did return to basketball, it was like he was coming home,
Yeah.
rejuvenated, refocused.
Yeah.
He talks about using his time filming Space Jam
Oh, wow.
to stay in shape.
Really?
He even built a gym on set
No way.
to keep up his training regimen.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Even in a Hollywood setting,
Right.
surrounded by celebrities and all the distractions that come with it, Jordan never lost sight
Right.
of his ultimate goal,
Yeah.
to return to the NBA and reclaim his throne.
He was like a prize fighter in training,
He was.
preparing for a championship bout.
Yeah.
And when that bout arrived,
Yeah.
he was ready.
Oh, yeah.
He led the Bulls to 3 more championships,
It's incredible.
cementing his legacy
Yeah,
as the greatest basketball player of all time.
for sure.
But in the book,
Yeah.
he also reflects on the mental toughness,
Okay.
that's required to stay at the top.
Right.
The constant pressure to perform, and the sacrifices he made along the way.
He's very candid about the emotional toll, the toll of his father's death, the media scrutiny, the burden of carrying a franchise, a city, a sport on his shoulders.
That's why.
It's a side of Jordan we don't often see.
Right.
The vulnerability beneath the superhuman facade.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
He writes about those moments of doubt. The fear of failure.
Yeah.
The frustration when his body wouldn't do what his mind demanded.
It's a reminder that even legends are human.
Yes.
That greatness comes at a price.
It's true.
Yeah.
But it's also about how he learned to channel those emotions, those moments of weakness, into fuel for his on-court dominance.
He did.
He embraced the mental challenges of the game, honed his focus, and found peace amidst the chaos.
That's pretty powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
He talks about how in high-pressure situations, he would visualize success.
Oh, wow.
Imagine himself making the game-winning shot, feeling the weight of the championship trophy in his hands.
That's amazing.
It's like he willed himself to greatness through sheer mental fortitude.
And that mental fortitude wasn't just for his own benefit.
Right.
He also writes about mentoring younger players.
Okay.
Like Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Sharing his insights and experiences, trying to guide them through the unique challenges of being a young superstar in the NBA.
There's a sense that he wanted to pass on the torch.
He did.
To help the next generation reach their full potential.
Yeah.
But also to avoid some of the pitfalls
that
he encountered along the way.
I love that. He's particularly insightful about the challenges faced by players, entering the league straight from high school, emphasizing the importance of developing a strong foundation, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well.
It's advice that resonates even today.
It does.
With so many young athletes facing immense pressure and scrutiny.
For sure.
And speaking of pressure, one of the most poignant moments in the book is his description of winning his 4th championship on Father's Day.
Oh, wow.
Just a few years after his father's passing.
That's powerful.
He describes it as a bittersweet victory.
Yeah.
A culmination of a lifetime of hard work and dedication.
Right.
But also a reminder
Yeah.
of the profound loss
Right.
he still carried with him.
Yeah.
It's like triumph and tragedy all wrapped up in one,
Absolutely.
a champion celebrating a victory,
Yeah.
but still grieving this huge personal loss.
It's powerful.
And that final championship run, the last dance,
Yeah.
it was full of these layers, wasn't it?
It was. You had the on-court drama.
Right.
The Bulls fighting for another ring, knowing that it could be their last together.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, you had this tension with Jerry Krause.
All right, the GM.
Yeah, who was determined to rebuild the team.
Even if it meant breaking up a dynasty.
Can you imagine being in that locker room?
Oh, my God.
Knowing that it's the last dance.
Right.
The last chance to achieve something
Yeah.
really special with this group of guys.
I mean, the pressure must have been immense.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
It speaks to their mental toughness.
It really does.
Yeah.
To be able to compartmentalize like that, block out all the noise, and just focus on the task at hand.
And they achieved it.
They did.
Against all odds.
Against all odds.
Yeah, a 6th championship in 8 years.
Incredible.
A perfect ending to an imperfect story.
I love that.
But what really struck me in the book was his honesty about the internal conflicts, the clashes with teammates, the moments of doubt and frustration.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
It is.
He doesn't shy away
from
the less glamorous aspects of his journey.
Exactly.
He talks about his clashes with Phil, his frustrations with teammates.
Who maybe didn't share his level of intensity, his own vulnerability.
Yes.
When the pressure felt overwhelming.
He doesn't try to paint himself as this flawless hero.
No.
He's open about his flaws, his mistakes, and the toll that pursuit of excellence took on his personal life.
It makes his story all the more relatable, I think.
I agree.
It reminds us that even the greatest of all time is still human.
Right.
Still susceptible to the same doubts and insecurities
we all are.
That we all face.
So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
Jordan's journey from college to the NBA, his triumphs, his struggles,
Right.
his time away from the game,
Yeah.
and his ultimate return to glory.
What a story.
But I guess the question is,
Yeah.
what's the takeaway for us?
Right.
What can we learn from Michael Jordan beyond the slam dunks and the championship rings?
What fascinates me is how his story transcends basketball.
It does.
It's a story about dedication, about pushing yourself beyond your limits.
Yes.
About embracing challenges.
Right.
And finding a way to thrive.
Yeah.
Under pressure.
Absolutely.
It's about the relentless pursuit of excellence.
Yes.
Whatever your chosen field may be.
It's like he's saying,
yeah,
yes, I had talent, but I also had this unwavering work ethic.
Right.
A burning desire to be the best.
That's something we can all apply to our own lives.
That's
whether we're athletes, artists, entrepreneurs.
Doesn't matter.
Or just trying to be better versions of ourselves.
Exactly.
It's about finding your love of the game.
I love that. Yeah.
That thing that ignites your passion, that drives you to work harder.
Right.
To push through obstacles. To never settle for mediocrity.
And recognizing that the journey won't always be easy.
It won't.
That there will be setbacks, disappointments.
But those challenges can ultimately make us stronger.
For sure.
More resilient. And more appreciative of the successes that we do achieve.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Michael Jordan's world, we're left with a question for you.
Okay.
What's your love of the game?
I love it.
What drives you?
Think about it.
What are you passionate about?
Yeah.
And what are you willing to fight for? Even when the odds are stacked against you?